Rio de Janeiro, a city famous for its vibrant streets, samba rhythms, and endless energy. But one of the most important dishes in Brazilian cuisine didn't begin in glamorous restaurants or luxury kitchens. It was born centuries ago in the kitchens of enslaved people. The name of that dish is feijoada. Today, feijoada is considered Brazil's national dish, but its story begins in a much humbler place. The origins go back to the 16th century. When the Portuguese arrived in Brazil, they brought sugar plantations with them, and tragically, the system of slavery as well. Millions of enslaved Africans were forced to work under brutal conditions. Plantation owners ate the best cuts of meat at their tables. The enslaved workers were often left with the scraps, pig ears, feet, tails, and other unwanted pieces. But even in the harshest conditions, human creativity survives. The enslaved Africans began cooking these leftover meats together with black beans, letting them simmer slowly for hours. As the pot boiled, something remarkable happened. The ingredients slowly transformed into a thick, rich, incredibly flavorful stew. And that was the beginning of feijoada. At its heart, feijoada is built on a simple idea. Black beans and various meats simmered slowly together for hours. But over time, the dish evolved. Portuguese culinary traditions added smoked sausages, salted meats, and cured pork to the pot. Little by little, feijoada stopped being just a meal of survival. It became a dish embraced by the entire country. Today, a traditional feijoada pot usually contains black beans, smoked sausage, pork cuts, salted beef, and sometimes pork ribs, all simmered slowly together in a large pot. The result is a dark, rich, deeply aromatic stew. But feijoada is more than just food. It's a meal meant to be shared. In Brazil, feijoada is most commonly prepared on Saturdays or Sundays. That's because this dish cannot be rushed. It takes hours to cook properly. Families and friends gather together, large pots are prepared, and the meal slowly develops its flavor throughout the day. When feijoada is finally served, it never comes alone. It's traditionally accompanied by white rice, orange slices, toasted cassava flour known as farofa, and fresh greens. The orange slices might seem surprising, but feijoada is a very rich and heavy dish. The bright acidity of the oranges helps balance the deep, intense flavors. It's a small detail that shows how thoughtful Brazilian cuisine can be. Over time, feijoada became one of Brazil's most iconic dishes. Restaurants in Rio de Janeiro began developing their own versions. Some added more sausage, others experimented with different cuts of meat. But the soul of the dish remained the same. Slow-cooked beans, deep comforting flavor, and the joy of sharing a meal together. Today in Brazil, feijoada is not just food. It is a cultural symbol. For many Brazilians, this dish represents family, friendship, and time spent together. The story of feijoada reminds us that food is never just about ingredients. Sometimes a dish is born from hardship, sometimes from struggle. Yet over time, that same dish can become a source of pride and identity. What once began as a meal made from scraps by enslaved people has become one of Brazil's most beloved and celebrated foods. And when you sit down in Rio de Janeiro with a steaming bowl of feijoada in front of you, you're not just tasting a meal, you're tasting centuries of history,